You ever notice how the word selfish automatically sounds negative? Like the moment somebody says it, we picture someone who doesn't care about anybody but themselves. But that's only half the truth. Because in life, even the things that sound bad can hold a sacred purpose when they're done with the right intention. See, we've been taught to give, to sacrifice, to be there for everybody, and all that's good. But nobody teaches you that even givers need to refill, that even healers need healing, that sometimes the most loving thing you can do for others is to take a step back and take care of you. Because if you never stop to get your own mind right, your own peace right, your own strength right, then all that help you're giving eventually turns into exhaustion. And when you're running on empty, even good intentions can start hurting people. So today, we're talking about the other side of selfish. Let me tell you a story about a woman named Denise. Everybody in her family leaned on her. She was the peacemaker, the problem solver, the one who always came through. If the light bill was due, she'd pay it. If somebody got sick, she'd drop everything to help. She was the glue, and she took pride in that. People would say, "Denise strong, she don't ever need nothing." But what they didn't realize was, she did. She just never said it, because she didn't know how. Before anyone even tried to figure out their own problem, they'd run to Denise. And no matter what she had going on, she'd answer. She'd empty her bank account, borrow money, take on extra hours, doing whatever it took to fix it for them. And a few days later, she'd scroll through her phone and see those same people on vacation. New outfits, new cars, smiling in restaurants she couldn't afford to eat at anymore, all while she was sitting in the dark, trying to stretch what little she had left. She'd come home after taking care of everybody else, kids, parents, friends, church members, and sit in silence, too tired to even cry. Her phone would keep ringing, but not once did it ring for her. Nobody ever asked, "How are you holding up?" Because strong people rarely get checked on. They get counted on. Then one day, Denise fainted at work. Her body had been warning her for months, but she ignored it. She thought resting was lazy. She thought saying no meant she was letting people down. The truth was, she had been letting herself die slowly, one yes at a time. When she got to the hospital, the doctor told her, "Ma'am, your stress levels are through the roof. Your blood pressure's sky high. You need rest, not a vacation. Rest." And when she finally stepped away to recover, everything around her started to fall apart. Bills piled up that nobody knew how to pay. Deadlines were missed. Kids were showing up late to school because no one else ever learned the routine. Phones kept ringing, but now it wasn't just questions. It was panic. People had been depending on her for so long. They forgot how to function without her. So when she got strong enough to move around again, she gathered her family and said, "I'm not doing it like this no more. If you love me, you'll let me breathe. If you value me, you'll learn to stand too." From that day forward, Denise made herself a priority. She started focusing on her health, her peace, her goals, and all the things she had neglected for years. She took quiet walks, learned new things, fixed things around the house, laughed again, and little by little, the people around her started to notice the change. It wasn't what she said that moved them. It was what she showed. They saw her choosing peace instead of pressure, watched her pay her own bills first, without guilt. They saw her living, not just surviving. And that did something words never could. She had no longer become their crutch. She had become their example. They stopped waiting for her to fix things. Instead, they watched how she handled her own and learned from it. Her growth gave them permission to grow. Her boundaries gave them balance. Her healing gave them hope. And that's the other side of selfishness. Sometimes you don't have to preach to people to make an impact. Sometimes the sermon is you loving yourself first. Sometimes your transformation is the message. People don't always need to hear what you believe. They need to see it. Because God didn't just give people ears to listen. He gave them eyes to witness. And when they can see your peace, your discipline, your joy, that becomes the lesson. You don't have to push people to change when your peace already proves it's possible. And sometimes, the loudest form of leadership is how quietly you handle your own life. Because you can't save someone else from drowning if you haven't learned how to float yourself. That's not selfish. That's understanding balance. This is the quote room, where words wake minds. Some things don't need a reaction, just reflection, just a few thoughts I had on my mind.